makes a lot of sense, folks. And they're bringing in more testing. They've got all these new test kits that they want to use here in Australia. How reliable do you think these test kits are, folks? I'm sure a lot of people out there have seen the report that came out from Tanzania where they tried the test kits on goats and they got positive results. They tried them on pawpaws and they got positive results. I've even heard one report that they tried it on engine oil. They got a positive COVID result. So do you think that they might be putting positive results in the tests, folks? Do you somehow think that that's what's going on? Because the president of Tanzania had the feeling that he was being scanned and they were being set up to find false positives.
Tanzanian President John Magufuli has dismissed coronavirus tests being used in the country as faulty after they returned positive results on samples taken from a goat and a pawpaw. Magufuli, whose government has drawn criticism for being secretive about the outbreak, said the COVID-19 tests had been imported from abroad and that he had asked the security services to check their quality. They had randomly obtained several non-human samples, including from a pawpaw, a goat and a sheep, but assigned them human names and ages. The samples were then submitted to a laboratory with, according to Magufuli, the goat and pawpaw testing positive. At an event in northwest Tanzania, Magufuli said this showed that some people were being told they had the virus when they had not been infected. The president also said he was sending a plane to collect a cure being promoted by Madagascar's president. The herbal mix has not yet undergone internationally recognised scientific testing.
Saying that, they might have to start removing people from their homes because now they're finding that coronavirus is transferred from the towns and transferred from being out in the public. It's now in the home, and they may have to start going into people's homes and start removing people from their homes.
In most parts of the world, due to lockdown, most of the transmission that's actually happening in many countries now is happening in the household, at family level. In some senses, transmission has been taken off the streets and pushed back into family units. Now we need to go and look in families to find those people who may be sick and remove them and isolate them in a safe and dignified manner.
Yeah, when you think about it, folks, you're going to remove people who test positive from their homes, and yet the coronavirus test kits are testing pawpaws positive, are testing goats positive, testing basically anything you want to come out as positive, they'll test positive for you, and then you can remove it from its home. And people say, well, that would never happen here. Well, now it's actually being introduced in Ventura County, just north of LA, folks, and you can bet your bottom dollar that it isn't just Ventura County that is doing this.
We are beginning a program today, and it's a pilot program which will certainly grow into something larger and larger, and that is a community contact tracing program. We've done contact tracing all along. That contact is a person who's been exposed to someone that we document to have the COVID infection. When we find someone who has a COVID infection, those people are immediately isolated. But we also work with them to figure out who their contacts were. Luckily, because you have been doing such a great job of cooperating and staying indoors and staying isolated, it used to be there were 10 contacts at least for every patient that we would find. Now it looks like there are probably only 2 or 3 or 4 contacts, not surprisingly, because most people have been staying away from others, and that's good news. But the purpose of this program is to bring on people. We're going to start with 10 people. We may bring on up to 50 or even more as the program grows and as we see the needs for it. As we do more testing, we will find more and more people who who have COVID-19. And again, we'll isolate every one of them, and we will find every one of their contacts, and we will make sure that they stay quarantined, and we'll check in with them every day. In other words, what this program means is that we're going to do a more complete job, and we're going to do a more meticulous job of making it less and less possible for others in the county to run into someone with COVID-19 infection. It's not just our county that's bringing more people on. There are going to be thousands of people hired who will be these contact investigators throughout the state. And this is occurring in many, many other states as well, perhaps all of the states in our country. We will be giving intensive training to these people, training not only for identifying and finding contacts, but also in terms of how to be sensitive about doing it. We also realize that as we find more contacts, some of the people we find are going to have trouble being isolated. For instance, if they live in a home where there's only one bathroom and there are 3 or 4 other people living there, and those people don't have COVID infection, we're not going to be able to keep the person in that home. Every person who we're isolating, for instance, needs to have their own bathroom. And so we'll be moving people like this into other kinds of housing that we have available. They'll also have other needs, perhaps, food, whatever it's going to be. The county will be there to back them up and to support them. We just talked about going from phase 1 into phase 2. We feel that it is very likely that we will have the factors that will qualify us to move into phase 2. And
so you heard what they said, people. They're going to, if you have COVID and other people in your household do not, if you cannot isolate properly, they're just going to take you up out of the house. Or if it's your child that has COVID-19, they're going to try to take your child and take them to God knows where, possibly FEMA camps or something. So he's saying this is about to start all over the country. Watch the video and listen and pay attention. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.
Talking about removing people from their homes. As I said, folks, they're coming for your children. You know, if they can go into your home and they can just say, well, 3 people in this household have tested positive for COVID-19, and you only have 1 bathroom and you've got 4 people living in your home, so we're going to have to remove 3 of the people from your home because they need to have their own bathroom. You know, this is the excuses that they're making. I'm definitely COVID, folks. I'm definitely dying. I think I need to go and get tested, get this tracing app on my phone so the government knows where I am every moment of every day, and so they have the chance to come and repossess me and put me somewhere safe where I won't infect anybody due to having my own bathroom. Figure that one out.